When you install Active Directory, it creates several records in DNS. Now, DNS was not installed on the server before Active Directory was installed. It was installed as part of that process. So now, when I go to Administrative Tools, if I go down my list of tools, DNS is in the list. I'm going to put that in full screen so it's easier to see. But if I expand my RTS-DC1, I have this forward lookup zone, and under it, I have, now they call these zones. They're represented by folders, but they're actually zones, is the official name. You'll see one for rtsnetworking.com. This will contain all the records associated with my actual domain. So when I create new computers join the domain, they'll all have records created under this rtsnetworking.com zone. That's not our concern right now. Our concern is just to verify the records in Active Directory were successfully created. So here, when I expand this MSDCS, actually underscore MSDCS, which stands for Microsoft Domain Controller Services, .my domain name, if I expand this DC folder and the TCP folder, you'll see there are records that show up for Kerberos. That's the authentication protocol for Active Directory. Now, these are service location records that point back to my domain controller. So anytime a client is trying to authenticate, they will simply query DNS saying, DNS, can you let me know who runs this Kerberos service? DNS literally scours through its records, finds this Kerberos service, and says, oh, the host you need to communicate with is RTS-DC1. So we want to make sure those records are there. The Kerberos, there is an LDAP record, Lightweight Directory Access Protocol, that should always be present. Now, we don't do anything with these records. We don't create these records. We don't modify these records. But just as a way to verify that all the records that DNS needed were created, you're mainly making sure this underscore MSDCS your domain name, making sure that zone shows up. And I always click through just to make sure that you see it populated with those records. But that is completely managed by Microsoft, but should always be present.